Tonight, you're going to do something no other animal on Earth can do. You're going to cook. Maybe you'll toss something in a pan or slide a tray into an oven or just press a button and wait for the beep. It feels like nothing. It's one of the most important things your species ever learned, and the real story is far stranger than a warm meal. Every other animal eats its food raw. The lion tears into raw flesh. The deer chews raw leaves. The ape crunches raw fruit. Only you sit down to a plate that has been heated, softened, and transformed by fire. You are the cooking animal, and that single habit may be the reason you can think at all. Stop and picture your own body for a moment. Your jaw is small. Your teeth are almost dainty. Your gut is short and quiet compared to other apes. You could not survive on raw leaves and raw roots the way a gorilla does. Your body has, in a sense, given up. It handed part of digestion off to something else entirely. It handed it to fire. So when did that begin? When did one of your ancestors first hold food to a flame and change the course of everything? The answer is buried in ash bone and burnt earth, and scientists are still digging it out. Let's start with why cooking matters so much, because the reason is not what most people think. Most people think cooking is about taste. It isn't. Cooking is about energy. Raw food is hard work for a body. Your stomach and intestines have to break tough plant fibers and coiled proteins down into fuel, and that breaking down costs energy of its own. Heat does a chunk of that work before the food ever reaches your mouth. Fire is like a first stomach that sits outside your body. Here is what heat actually does step by step. Inside raw meat, the proteins are folded up tight like crumpled balls of paper. Your gut has to unfold each one to use it. When you apply heat, those proteins loosen and unravel on their own. This is called denaturing. It's the same thing you see when a clear egg white turns solid and white in a hot pan. Nothing was added. Heat simply unfolded the proteins, and once unfolded, your body can grab their fuel far more easily. Starchy plants get an even bigger upgrade. Inside a raw potato, the starch is packed into hard little granules your gut can barely crack open. Add heat and water, and those granules swell and burst, spilling their energy out where your body can reach it. A cooked potato hands you dramatically more usable energy than a raw one. Same potato, same weight, just heated. Difference is enormous. There's a scientist you should know here. His name is Richard Wrangham, a primatologist at Harvard. He proposed a bold idea called the cooking hypothesis. His claim is simple and daring. Cooking didn't just make life more pleasant, cooking made you human. By unlocking so much extra energy from the same food fire, fed something in your ancestors that is extraordinarily expensive to run. Your brain. Consider this number and let it sink in. Your brain is only about 2% of your body weight, but it burns around 20% of your energy every hour of every day, even while you sleep. It is the most fuel-hungry organ you own. A brain like yours is a luxury item, and luxury items need a rich income. Raw food alone chewed for hours could not reliably pay that bill. Cooked food could. Look at the trade your body made. A gorilla spends much of its waking life chewing sometimes 6 or more hours a day just to gather enough raw fuel to survive. 6 hours. Imagine spending most of your day with your jaw grinding, never stopping, just to stay alive. Cooking cut that time down massively. Softer, richer food meant less chewing, smaller teeth, a shorter gut, and hours suddenly freed. Freed for what? For tool making, for talking, for raising children slowly, for thinking. The fire didn't just feed the brain, it gave your ancestors the time to use one. But now comes the hard part, the part scientists argue about fiercely. When did this actually start? To answer, you need proof of controlled fire, not just any fire. What you're hunting for is evidence that a human ancestor made, kept, and used fire on purpose. and ancient fire is frustratingly shy. Ash blows away, charcoal rots. A single campfire from 100,000 years ago usually leaves nothing at all. So the deep past guards its secret well. Still, the clues exist. In a cave in Israel called Qasem Cave, researchers found a hearth used again and again, layered with ash and burnt bone, roughly 300,000 years old. Not a one-time fire, a spot returned to on purpose over generations. At another site in Israel, Gesher Benot Yaakov, scientists found burnt seeds, wood, and flint clustered in tight patches, hinting at controlled fire around 790,000 years ago. Tight patches matter. A wildfire scatters. A campfire stays in one place because someone is tending it. And some researchers push the date even deeper. In Wonderwerk Cave in South Africa, they found burnt bone and ash deep inside the cave, far from any entrance where lightning could reach, dated to around 1 million years ago. And in 2026, a new study of that same cave pushed the traces of fire back even further into a window stretching from roughly 1 million to nearly 2 million years ago. That's not a modern human who left it. It's an earlier ancestor, Homo erectus, an upright, tool-using member of your family tree. Homo erectus had a bigger brain than the ancestors before it and a body built around a smaller gut, which is exactly what you'd expect if fire had already entered the story. The bones fit the hypothesis. So how far back does it really go? Honestly, nobody knows for certain. The confident, provable dates sit a few 100,000 years back. The bolder claims stretch toward 1 million years or more, and they're still debated in labs today. The truth is that this is an open question argued over with real passion, because the stakes are nothing less than the origin of the human mind. Think about how quietly world-changing that first cook must have been. There was no recipe, no pan, no idea of what a brain even was. Just an ancestor sitting near a flame it had learned to keep alive, holding a piece of meat or a root a little too close, and noticing something. It smelled better. It chewed easier. It gave more. That ancestor could not have known. It was lighting the fuse on a species that would one day build cities, write symphonies, and leave footprints on the moon. It was just trying to eat. And every one of those changes rippled forward into the body you're sitting in right now. Your small jaw is a gift from fire. Your short gut is a gift from fire. Your enormous, hungry, world-building brain is in large part a gift from fire. You did not evolve to eat raw food anymore. You evolved to eat cooked food, and your biology now leans on it. People who try to live on nothing but raw food often struggle to keep weight on, even with blenders and modern abundance to help them, because heat unlocks energy their bodies have quietly come to count on. Your ancestors solved that problem with a campfire hundreds of thousands of years before the first written word. So let's return to your kitchen tonight. That pan, that oven, that little beep. It doesn't feel like history. It feels like Tuesday. But you are standing at the end of the longest, unbroken chain of cooks in existence, stretching back through every grandmother and every ancestor to a single, flickering fire in a cave, tended by someone who could barely imagine you. Tonight, you're going to do something no other animal on Earth can do. And now you know it isn't a small thing at all. It's the very act that built the mind you're using to understand it.